Hi everyone, it's Lesley Oman here from Hungry Heffy Crafts, and today I'm sharing with you this card that says sending happy mail, and there's lots of stamping and some colouring with some colouring pencils as well. I recently picked up one of the clear stamp sets from Simon Says Stamp. It was one of their bundle packages with the stamps that says sending and wishing, and I've been having so much fun with this. There was a really cute border stamp, and it almost looked like the edge of an airmail envelope, so I thought I would just play with it. It's quite long, so I pushed it up against the edge of a card to make sure it was straight when mounting it onto my acrylic block. And I'm using some red ink from Simon Says Stamp, and this is some dye ink. So when I stamp it, it takes a few minutes to absorb into the card itself, but it gives a really nice crisp image. Now, when I was cleaning it with baby wipe, because it's a dye ink, it does sometimes leave residue, but if you clean it well enough, it means it doesn't transfer over to the next colour. My next colour anyway was a blue colour, and I thought that I would stamp it again and just slightly offset it. Now this is a little bit trickier because you need to get it exactly in the right position, and I did a fairly good job with that one, but the next one, when I stamped a darker colour, this is more of a navy colour, it was a little bit off, but I didn't throw away the card. I just thought that I would make do with it. I like it when they're a little bit quirky anyway. There's also another really cool stamp in this set where there's loads of polka dots. So I thought I would create a border along the top of the card with these polka dots here, and the way that this stamp is designed means it's really easy to have a continual line of these stamps, of these dots I mean. So first of all, I stamped a line of the blue dots, but then I was able to go back in again and stamp some of the red dots in the gaps between the red, between all the blue dots that I had already created, and it gives them more of a dense coverage along the strip at the top. Now I'm taking the Happy Mail script stamp. It's really cute font, and although I was stamping it with dye ink, I kept my clear embossing powder to hand and straight away just threw some over the top. Not an awful lot of it stuck, but it was enough to give it a little bit of a sheen and then create a focal piece in the middle of the card. Did exactly the same with the sending stamp in the blue. I wanted something a little bit more. I wanted to create more of a background effect around what I had already created, and there's one of these circular stamps which has hello in it, and it looks really cute. So I used some Simon Says Stamp fog ink and used a scratch piece of paper to mask off any areas that I didn't want it to stamp, and I stamped it here. Now, it looks pretty dark at the moment, but when it dried in, it's just a really subtle grey, which is really cute. I wanted to add a pop of colour and some more interest, so I'm taking this Darcy's stamp, and it's got a really cute little girl, and she's got a raincoat on. So using my Memento Tuxedo black ink, I'm stamping that onto some smooth white cardstock, along with a couple of these envelopes also from the Simon Says Stamp set. I've sped up the video here because colouring does take a little while, but I'm using my Spectrum Noir colouring pencils, and usually taking 3 or 4 colours to create a smooth gradiated colour effect. And I start with the lightest, move to the middle, go to the darkest, and then work my way back, especially for things like her coat. For the smaller areas, maybe not even using 3 colours, maybe just 2. After I've coloured her all in, I'm going to take some blending solution from the Spectrum Noir colouring pencil blending solution, but you can also use some Gamsol, and using a little paper stump, smooth out some of those pencil lines. Now I did that a lot on her coat, but I didn't do it so much on her hair because I quite like the lines. The pencil lines gives a more realistic look for hair. It looks like the strands of hair. And of course I wanted to add some rosy cheeks. For the envelopes, I just used one or two colours. It wasn't, they're just going to be so tiny that they're not really going to be noticeable at all. Now, after I fussy cut these elements, I took my Faber-Castell brush marker and went round the edge, the outside edge of each of these little designs, each of these little elements, and that helps it have a more makes it look more perfect. Even whenever I'm cutting out, it's not perfect at all. And now I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to put all these little elements on the card. I decided for my girl I'm going to pop her up onto some foam pads so that she has a little bit of dimension, and I'm using the large foam pads and the small foam pads from Do Crafts, which is a UK company. I want it to look like she is holding some of these little envelopes, but also one has fallen on the ground. So the white and the red I'm sticking with glue dots, and the purple I've raised up with a foam pad. There's a lot of the design on the left hand side of the card and hardly anything on the right. So to balance it out, I'm adding some sequins to the card, and I'm using my Quick Sticks tool and some Ranger multi-matte medium to stick them to the card. And just a finishing touch, I wanted to add some little tiny white pearls, and I'm sticking to the same colors and sequins, this red, white, blue, and then I've got a little yellow one in there as well, just to carry through the yellow from her coat. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will come and visit soon. Hop on over to Hungry Heffy Crafts for more craftiness. Have a great day.